Well, hello everybody. To let you into a personal secret, I'm a bit iffy about spiders. There's something about the way in which they walk that just creeps me out a little bit. But over the years of studying wildlife, I've come to greatly admire spiders and their sophisticated lives and their tenacity. So today I'm in High Pen Wood near Carn in Wiltshire, looking for a spider that's a recent arrival in the UK. And this is a spider for whom the mating game is deadly serious, because the males are very lucky indeed to get out of it alive. This is Steve Dealey for Wild Walks, looking for Britain's wasp spiders. This is a wasp spider. It's a female. Their brightly coloured topside is thought to mimic the colouring of a real wasp and so put birds off from eating them. Although like all spiders they can bite, they're completely harmless to humans. Normally found in the Mediterranean, wasp spiders were first seen in Britain in 1920, but it wasn't until 2013 that they started to spread, probably helped by our warming climate. So although they're really highly coloured, at least on the front side, it can be very hard to find wasp spiders in vegetation like this because it's all tangled and there's lots of shapes and lots of distractions. But I was always taught to look for a place in the long grass where there was a bowl shape that looked as if somebody knelt down in the long grass, creating a sort of semicircular divot, and preferably facing into the sun because wasp spiders like it warm. Unfortunately, there are plenty of those in a place like this. This is the kind of thing that I'm talking about, although I can't see a spider in this one. So I don't know if you can see that, but this is a kind of sheltered little oasis, a semicircular bowl facing towards the sun. But there are lots of them in places like this. Oh, and in fact, there's one. I almost didn't spot it because it's got its back turned to me, but there's a wasp spider just down here. So, don't know if you can make it out, but there is the wasp spider sitting on the centre of its web. It's got its back to us, so the brightly coloured side is facing away, and we're getting the bottom, which has basically got two little yellow stripes, vertical stripes running down it. And you can see, I hope, this bowl shape where the spider is nestling, again facing into the sun. So the wasp spider is very different from most British spiders, and one of those differences is in the way that it deals with its prey. Most spiders are bite and then bind. They bite their prey, injecting a complicated venom that quickly incapacitates it, and then truss it up in silken ropes to enjoy it later on. The wasp spider, on the other hand, is bind and then bite. It tries to lasso its still living prey, which can be something dangerous like a wasp that could easily kill it, and only once it's trussed it up does it then bite it. So why does the wasp spider behave in that way? Well, the answer is that surprisingly most spider venoms are complicated. They're far more complicated in most cases than snake venoms are. So they are complicated, full of toxins and chemicals that the spider has to produce, and that takes a lot of energy. By trussing its prey up first, the wasp spider's venom can be much simpler and it will take much less energy for it to produce. So it's a different strategy, but of course it's a high risk one, because while it's trying to lasso and bind up its living prey, that prey is still perfectly able to attack, kill and even eat the wasp spider itself. So what I'm hoping you can see on her web are these zigzag lines of white, and that's called a stabilentum. And it's characteristic of the wasp spider. No other British spider will produce that on their web. Nobody really knows what a stabilentum is for. There are as many theories as there are scientists studying it. But the one that works for me is that the stabilentum is supposed to reflect ultraviolet light. Now, lots of insects which wasp spiders would eat, like wasps and bees and butterflies, are attracted to flowers, and many flowers make patterns on their petals that are only visible in ultraviolet light. And it's thought that the stabilentum's reflectivity of ultraviolet light attracts wasps and bees and things like that into her web and brings them right down to her. So instead of the nectar that they were expecting to get from a flower, what they end up is being attacked by a wasp spider. You would imagine that a spider that is bright white and yellow and black would be quite easy to spot. But in fact, I've been talking for quite a while about the female back here and completely missed the fact that there's a second, much smaller female about a foot in front of her. This one is very small. She will need to feed a lot, go through several molts just to reach the size of this female, who is also still about a medium-sized wasp spider. When he wants to mate, the male wasp spider will produce a super thick section of his own web, and he'll deposit his sperm onto that. And the male spider has two special leg-like appendages at the front called pedipalps, and on the end they have a structure that looks for all the world like a turkey baster and performs a similar function. It sucks the sperm up off his web. So now he has two pedipalps loaded and ready to go. But now he needs to get close to the female, and that's a very dangerous game indeed, because the female will happily eat the male. So when the male wants to mate with the female, the first thing he will do is approach her. He'll sit on the edge of her web. He'll often do this after she's just molted, because when she's molted, her jaws are a little bit softer and his chances of getting out alive are slightly increased. And he will then try and approach her. Lots of males die in the attempt of approaching the female and never get to mate at all. But if she seems receptive, he will come to her front end, and then he'll turn round and try and go back up between her and her web. Now, the female has two openings called copulatory openings, which are used purely for mating. They're nothing to do with laying eggs or spinning webs or anything like that. And he will take his pedipalp and insert it into her copulatory opening. And then, and this is the bit that really makes my eyes water, to make sure that no other male will mate with her, he will snap it off and leave it inside her, pumping his sperm. And the longer it's in situ, the greater a chance is that he will father her offspring. Now, the male will then try and retreat. Many of them don't make it. Most females like a male as a post-coital snack. Some researchers in Germany did some studies to see if eating the male perhaps brought some benefit to the female. Maybe the extra protein in the meal or something like that made her eggs better or her offspring better. And what they found was it made no difference whatsoever. Unfortunately, female wasp spiders eat male wasp spiders simply because they can. So there you have it, the wasp spider, coming soon to a field near you. This is Steve Deedy for Wild Walks. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.